haven't been swimming?
No. Well, I went into Marine Lake. I got someone to drive me in there because I wanted to swim in there.
Okay, yeah, you said that. Was it freezing?
It was 10 degrees. I'd like to go back there and try and swim the length of it, but I need a paddler. I need someone with me and swim close to the shore because if you had to get out.
Right, okay, yeah.
But it was the right time of year because it was the warmest. So, anyways, I'm going to stop talking to you.
No, that's it. So how far did you swim?
Not far.
Right,
just
okay.
in and around, just around. I just wanted to get in. It was quite an experience actually because it was the powerful mountains that are right there. And then when you're in the water is pretty something. And there was no boats in the water that day either.
Yeah,
so it was actually not too bad.
I assumed that you would be in a bunch of people's pictures, but you said it was actually quite quiet.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I can't imagine a lot of people are swimming.
No, people always look at you like, what are you doing? I just saw that there was a girl that swam the length of Lake Louise.
Even that would be freezing. Yeah.
She did it.
With that, obviously with the wetsuit, yeah.
Yeah. It's not a lake I have a desire to swim the length. It's a bit busy.
That would also be quite far, I would assume.
Maybe 2K?
You think so? Yeah.
I think about 2K maybe. Yeah.
And you're right though. If you don't have a paddler, and because it's so cold. If something goes wrong, I guess if you're an
I bet you she had a paddler. That's what I think.
When I did that across the lake swim, I had to have a paddler.
Oh, the one in
Kelowna, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, that was an actual race where you could not do it if you didn't have one. If you're just doing it on your own, I guess you could just be like,
yeah,
I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
But I can't remember. Did you tell me how you got into swimming? Way back in the, not back in the day, but...
Are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Oh. How did I get into swimming? I got into swimming when I was when I could get in the water. It all started if I were to think back to sailing.
Oh,
So
really?
I've always had water in my life. So my grandfather was a sailor, then my dad raced sailing boats. And then we had a pool in our backyard. So as soon as my parents could put me in the water, I was in the water. Just like a horse. As soon as I could sit on a horse, I was on a horse.
Yeah.
So yeah, young age.
And so obviously it sounds like the sailing aspect of that is kind of what drew you into it. So have you done a bunch of sailing then?
I have, but as a family, in the summer times, we used to go out on sailboat. Somebody lent us their boat and we went out sailing, and I was always surrounded by people like that too. And I just loved being on the water.
Uh-huh.
But I was not an open water swimmer. I was a pool swimmer. The weeds terrified me when I was out there. But it was fun. It was about the experience more than anything. So, yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first time I came swimming with you, and there was another girl with us. I can't remember her name, but I have this internal fear, maybe slightly less now from doing a bunch of swimming, of what's below you in the reeds and stuff. And I assumed that you would not have that. And then I remember when we were down swimming the first time, you were chatting to this girl about that, you just made a comment about the reeds or whatever, the sea or the monsters. And I honestly, to me, I was like, oh, that's kind of sweet. I was like, did they also think this? Because I thought that was me. I was like, there's no way that Sarah thinks that there's monsters in Quarry.
Actually, it was I think it was a couple of seasons ago where I was paddling. It was in Invermere, and Darren was paddling and I was swimming. And it was a 5K event. And I remember we get to this, I almost lost my shit because there was so much weeds. As soon as you put your hand in the water, it's almost like you picked up the weeds. And Darren's like, just calm. You got this. And he's like, just think of them like flowers growing from the bottom. And that actually helped me because it was like, oh yeah, they're friendly. They're not going to pull me down or anything.
Yeah, I think it's just the shock of when you get one. Because I had that when I think I was kind of used to swimming here. Because I guess you can kind of see better. Whereas when I was back in the UK swimming in the sea, it's just so murky because I was staying quite close to shore. And yeah, every so often I would hit a lot of seaweed and it honestly would freak me out. I didn't enjoy it whatsoever. But.
I think also my parents sent me to camp when I was younger, and I remember being at this camp and being told I had to go down to the bottom and pick up. That was part of the thing. Oh, and then one time I was terrified. Saying that to a kid when you can't see the bottom is pretty scary.
That is scary.
But then when I did it, there was a water snake, and I was like, if I could have run on the water, I would have, because I'm terrified of
I mean,
snakes.
well, I mean, that is a legitimate thing, yeah.
So I think that hasn't really helped either.
So you don't feel like that's changed, that even given all the open water swimming you've done?
It has changed. It definitely has, but once in a while it'll like creep in. And I think also it's where your mind's at in the day, like how much you've done in that week, how tired are you, right? Like I find when I'm tired, it's like, you know, your confidence sometimes dwindles, and stupid things kind of come into your brain, right? But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had it. I've chatted to you about it a couple of times coming here to swim at Quarry, and it was the day after work and I was tired and my headphones had ran out of battery, and like I just didn't have any of the not the courage but the discipline that you normally have.
Yeah.
It's kind of brutal.
And I find like sometimes those are learning moments, I find too, like those moments of like when you're freaking out about something that is not even there or something. It's like, okay, well, what is this really about? What do I need to look at in my life that needs my attention, I think, too.
And I mean, we live obviously in in Canmore, but effectively like Banff National Park, and you have like a plethora of other activities that you could do, like running, cycling. How come like you've stuck with swimming?
Well, I haven't always stuck with swimming though, because like I was a triathlete for years.
Okay.
And I feel like that kind of left though. Like I did that for so many years and I loved it. I loved the community, but I think I was just done. And swimming water has always been a part of my life. But I hadn't just solely done swimming. I did competitive swimming when I was a teenager, like a tween, and a teenager. And I think those sort of things kind of still live with you, right? Whether you want to reignite it in your life or not. But then I was like, no, I know I can do the open water now because I've done an Ironman, half Ironman. I've done those distances. Okay, like let's just do the swimming and like commit to one thing. And I felt in my life that's what I had more time for, and it was energizing me in that time of my life.
And you didn't find, and I guess I'm asking for, because I personally found this, you didn't find that just doing one of the disciplines was a lot. I guess like I quite liked the you'd run one day, you swim the next day, you swim the next day, and it kind of mixed up. But you're not bothered. You kind of like
no, I loved it then, and now it's almost too much. And it's just, I think just in my life now, it's like I like focusing on one thing. However, there is like strength training that was in there too, right? So, but running and biking and just, not, maybe it'll show up again. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say like running was the thing that I did when I was growing up. Probably like similar to you with the swimming in your tweens or whatever it was. I was the same with running.
Yeah.
You know, and then you kind of like, I certainly, when you get into your 20s and stuff, kind of lose your path a little bit with exercise and you're more like party mode. But I kind of came back to running, and then, and that's what we were kind of chatting before this started about. Now that the swim's over, like my go-to of just like doing something I enjoy is running. Like I'm just like, I want to jump.
Yeah, and this is my go-to too. And it doesn't always have to be swimming laps or swimming a long distance. It's just getting in the water. Like now that I've been on like a pause since the end of August, I just find I still want to get in the water, but I don't want to train for anything. I just want to like float there or play with my dog or do something like that is not swimming like 10 laps around Corey, right? So, yeah. Because I want to be ready to get back in the pool, and because I know I love it. So
what is so you're taking a break just now, and then do you jump back into swimming for the winter season?
Yeah.
Right. Okay,
so starting October 1st.
And then be back in the pool, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the winter season, is that kind of like, what's your training? Not to be like exact about it, but like, is the training, because you were saying you don't actually have something for next year yet, so how does the training
I don't know, like,
look?
Because the last years I've been doing like pool swims, like masters events and stuff, and I love that. So I feel like there's still a pull for me to do that again, but not nationals, because I don't really want to go back to Windsor, and so I'll wait for the following year. But I think it's about like building my strength and my speed. Like there's a lot around that, but I love the endurance though too. And that's why I move outside in the summer and switch it, because I like that. And it's like trying to figure out, well, why do I want to do a longer swim? What is it about that I want? I always think about that. But it's like, do I want to? Like, what's the purpose? Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question, but
No, I think it kind of leads me on to another question that I was going to ask. That's like, do you feel like obviously you do long distance swimming? Do you feel like that's bled into other like aspects of your life, like dealing with like challenges because you do these like 10 laps of quaddy, and then you get into work and someone sent you an email and you're like, whatever.
I feel like swimming, like in being an endurance athlete or an athlete in general, it like helps you with being a leader in an organization or just at work, right? In general, to how to persevere or the determination, that sort of stuff comes across. But it does, you see it in a different perspective too, right? I'm lucky enough that the other woman that works with me is an athlete too.
Oh, really?
So.
Yeah. So she gets it.
Yeah. So we're pretty determined together, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And you were kind of saying like, and I'm the same as you, like, what do you think, do you prefer the endurance over like speed stuff?
Yes.
Because I do as well. Yeah. I don't know, I actually don't, sometimes I'm like, is it because it's easier? Like, I don't actually know if it is easier, but do you know what I mean? Like, I guess why do you prefer the long distance over the speed? I don't know why I prefer it.
I like it because it's more like meditative.
Yeah, true.
You can get into a groove, but I think my sweet spot is that strong pace. Like, I like that. I don't necessarily like going easy all the time, but I don't necessarily like going fast all the time. But the fast will help other things, right? Mm-hmm. But I just like the endurance because you get to swim longer.
Yeah,
too.
true. Yeah, I guess if you're just doing yeah, I mean, like, it was actually kind of nice, as much as I'm complaining about having to do it. It's kind of nice getting up and swimming like an hour and a half, or even an hour, even 45 minutes, like in the morning. Whereas, to have the same motivation to get up and then, I don't know, do like hill sprints or something, I think, well, I did do
hard.
Yeah, it would be hard, and I don't know if it would be as, I mean, you'd probably feel amazing after it, but I think the process of swimming for an hour itself is enjoyable. Whereas I think doing hill sprints for even like 30 minutes, I think the whole 30 minutes would just be torture.
I love having a coach too, right? Because then you have like this, this trust in them, and you follow a program, and then you start to see the progress, right? And they're different, I talk to a lot of people who come to me for coaching. Oh yeah, I'm just swimming lengths and that's it. It's like, and then they come to my squad or I coach them, and it's like, you build a program for them, and it's a lot more fun. And then they start to see the results out of it, that's the cool part.
So you are a coach. How did you get into that?
How did I get into that? It was a long time ago.
You just like, I'm shit hot swimming, I should tell people how to swim.
Well, I think I was seeing a lot in the pool, and I understand like the mechanics of how things work, and I could see how I could support someone in the pool to make it easier. And I'm like, well, why don't I do something about that? Mm-hmm. And I love to swim, so why don't I coach them, right? And I saw other coaches out there, and it wasn't necessarily exactly what I do. So, because I bring a lot of different things compared to other coaches, right? But yeah, it's just, I want to see more people enjoy swimming instead of saying, oh, I hate swimming, and that's always, or I don't know how to swim well. I always hear that with triathletes, and I would love to change that, period. And then, because there's a way that you can just enjoy the swim, you don't have to hate it. So
you also have to have a good amount of self-belief in yourself, though, to be like confident and like, I think I am knowledgeable enough, like articulate enough to actually teach people. Like even like growing older and getting into management roles and work, I think for a while I had that bit of lack of confidence. I was like, I don't feel like I'm still like young, and I feel like I'm not in the right position to be telling these people what to do. Whereas I think, as from a coaching perspective, if you have that sense of belief, then you're like, no, I know what I'm talking about here. Like, I can tell these people that they should be doing X, Y, and Z. Yeah.
And I think I just have a special way of my coaching where it can be quite holistic, whereas, we work on our technique, but there's a lot more around coaching too. You want to make it enjoyable. You want people to return to the sport where it's not like competitive, and it's, like they're there to connect with other people. And then that makes it even more enjoyable, right?
Yeah.
But there's ways around, making it enjoyable, like with swim toys, and, you don't have to, it's not, you have to do it this way, it's like, what works for you? Like, what is making you happy? Like, let's go along that route instead. But yeah, I don't know.
And you were saying like your coaching is kind of different. Is there like a lesson that you try and give to people? Is there like a philosophy within your coaching that you try to give people that isn't just the swimming, like beyond the swimming aspect of it? Like, because you seem like a very, you've been incredibly like supportive and positive. Like, Yeah, is there something when you're training people that goes beyond the swimming that you're trying to like impart on them?
I think it's like just believing in yourself, right? Believing in that you can do what you've, set out in front of yourself to do. And if you have a vision for that, whatever that is, whether it's showing up to the pool or you're doing an event or whatever it is, it's like to follow through with that. I think I'm a big advocate of people following through with that. It's like you have to really want to do what that is. It's like for you training for the English Channel, you really wanted to do that and you went after that, right? It's like I did that 10-kilometer swim and it's like when I have that set there, it's like there's no stopping, right? But it's important no matter what it is, whether it's an event or a little thing for yourself, but I just think you have to invest in yourself. And it takes time to do that too. It's like people need to realize that, becoming a swimmer and a strong swimmer and, bringing your time down, like that takes consistency. It takes time and belief in yourself, like you say, like the confidence piece. I don't just show up at the pool once a week, right? It takes more than that to start to see those improvements. And like, just keep it going. If it's something you love, like, just keep swimming. Yeah. Whether you have an event or not, but if you love it and it lights you up, like, just keep going.
And I mean, you obviously like kind of walk the walk as well, because you are doing, you did that 10K swim.
Yeah.
And I guess that must also give you a good perspective on, like you and I were kind of going back and forth about, like how we were feeling for our different things. And, being a coach, if someone comes to you and they're like, hey, I want to swim anything, but say it's like another 10K, you can be like, okay, right, well, I remember like a couple of weeks out, I was feeling like X and Y, like that obviously must help.
Yeah, it does. And I feel like not every coach you're going to hire is doing what you do, right? But I think for me, for as long as I can go, it's important to be doing the thing, right? Like, because I like to. That's the difference, right? Like, I actually want to do that. I love setting goals for myself. And then my hope is that will inspire somebody else in some other way, right? So, I don't know.
Yeah. And so the 10K race, how did, like, from a reflective on it, like, how did that go from, like, how did you feel? I assume you felt like the training was really good, and then, like, how did you feel before it, and then how did you feel once you'd done it?
Yeah, the training was good. It was consistent. I had some, like, up and down days, like you always do. Those are your learning days, where you feel like you're not ready or, any of that. But but I knew, like, I'd done the work, right? Like, you look back, it's like, I don't know, if I had tracked that on Strava or whatever, you would have seen just how much swimming I would have done, but over, like, a year. And, like, getting to the event, I think that was one of the harder parts, was, like, when I got there, it's almost like I went from a 4.5 event, great fun event at Skaha, and then I had a week of holidays. And it was like, I like swimming with other people, and I think I needed more rest that week. So I took a lot more rest than I thought. I was like, and then that self-doubt starts to creep in. It's like, oh, crap, I'm not doing this and that. It's like, no, you've done the work. Your body is telling you, and your mind, because when you get in the water, you're just like, you might as well just float on your back right now. So I think that was kind of a hard part during the week. And then I got to the 10K and I was like, no, I'm ready for this. And my husband's amazing. He's the greatest paddler. I don't know what to do without him. But it wasn't easy. Like, definitely not, like it's not meant to be.
Had you swum 10K before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same, yeah.
So you kind of knew that, like, in your head, you're like, I know I can do this.
I know I could do it. It's just understanding, like, your fueling too along the way, like when to eat and, like, not, staying hydrated, all that stuff along the way. But I had, like, a time, like, after the first 45 minutes, I started taking in my fuel, and then it was every half an hour. And then I think the last part coming back was, like, the last 3K, the wind picked up. Then it was choppy and wavy. And it was like, it looks so close, but yet it was so far. And I'm like, yeah, that was probably the harder part. But it wasn't because I couldn't do it. It was more like, ah.
Yeah. You can have, I've had it when I was swimming where you're like, I swear that's not getting any closer.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah. And sometimes it's not. Like, if it was choppy, like, I remember a couple of times in Johnson, like, swimming in there's a tree, like this one that's kind of, like, visible. And I was like, I'd literally be, like, paddling and be like, that actually hasn't moved.
Yeah.
And I'd have to try and, like, zigzag just to, like, change not the cutting, but change my direction to it in some way to try and...
I think like the biggest thing that helped me this time, and I'd never done it before in a long swim, was I dedicated like every kilometer or mile, I think it was mile, 1,500 meters. So to like a woman that had been in my life that had passed away. So I did that, I don't know, I think I did that for 7 to 8 women that had passed away in the last like 5 years. So I think that helped me like kind of move through some like grief too in my life. And then the last bit was, I kind of like, that just paused, and then it was just focusing on getting back, and it was more about me mentally getting it done.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to ask you, like, what do you think about? But I mean, that's quite a powerful thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you, without obviously going into the personal details of it, like, so obviously you were doing it like a kilometre per person, like, and with, again, you don't need to say anything if it's too personal, but like, what are you thinking? Are you just thinking about them? Are you thinking like, sometimes I feel like I'm like, I don't know what I'm thinking sometimes. It's the most random, like, if I was like, imagine someone's like,
our imagination just goes wild,
your
right?
house is on fire and you have to swim like this next K. That's a really silly thing, but sometimes I'll think that. Whereas yours sound like a much more practical and actually like powerful thing to do.
Yeah, I just thought about like goodness and like them sending me energy too, and like just connecting with them from a different level, right? And just remembering memories probably along the way, I think was the biggest thing, and just pulling on that, right? It's a pretty powerful thing to do. Yeah,
and I think in the training as well before mine, I swam probably like, I think the longest I swam without headphones before, it was like 4 hours. And it was kind of cool just to see where, like the iterations of your mentality, like, not that it was super high or low, but just like, I mean, like, swimming I think is such a unique thing compared to like cycling or running, where like, you really can't, like, it's just you and your breath and the bubbles and stuff. So you kind of like, at what other point in my life would I be forced for 4 hours just to have your own thoughts? I guess you could do that and run, but I don't know, I feel like
but your own thoughts in water, right?
I think swimming is so different.
In water, and then it's just it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, it is, yeah. But yeah, it was cool for me just to see where, like, over the course, because I remember even being like, oh God, like, I had another hour to go and having that thought, but then, it was weird how the next hour didn't, like, drag by. Like, my mind then moved on to the next thought that it had and whatever, I guess I was thinking. But I think maybe this is going back to what we were chatting about with like the long distance versus the short speed stuff. Like, I think with the long distance stuff for me, like, it also like allows your brain to kind of do exactly what I'm saying there, where like you just kind of, it forces you to go through like this whole thought process.
Yeah.
But I guess with the short speed stuff, you're just like, you can't really think of anything.
You don't really have time to think about that.
It's almost like therapeutic, I guess, is what I'm getting at there.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. But then there is the mental side of like the speed work. Like when I go into like masters swimming and doing shorter distances, it's like you have to push through that pain, right? To get that done, and then just to know, like, once you have, like, it will become easier, and then when you go to your event, it's like, oh, well, this is why I did this, right? But yeah. And
how do you think you balance the hardness of it with the joy? The hardness isn't the right word I'm looking for, but like the pushing yourself but also still enjoying it, if that makes sense. Like when you're doing something that's really hard, even if it's like 10 laps around here, and it's kind of like that balance, I guess, the balance between pushing yourself but also still enjoying it. Like,
yeah.
Do you feel like there is a balance there? Or do you feel like at some points you're just like, I'm going to have to accept that this isn't going to be overly enjoyable?
I feel like half the time I'm enjoying myself, but then there are those moments where I'm not, and I'm just like, screw this, like, I'm done. But I feel like we need to have those days. Those are learning days, and they suck, and your coach expects you to have those, and usually Jordan will throw that in there on purpose just because he knows it'll be really tough, right? But because he believes that he knows that we can do that, right? And I do. I believe I know I can do it, even though it's hard, right? It's interesting how you can push your body and your mind, like, in a sport that you love and that you're good at, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, looking back, and obviously I didn't get to do my swim in the end, but looking back in the training, it was like, even the things in the training that I did where I was like, I never thought I could do that. Like, I never thought I could do, you know, again, like with the whole creepy water thing, like I honestly thought, I was like, I guess I just have that. Like, I would just always hate the creepiness. And I noticed, like, you know, the first time I swam in Johnson, I maybe swam like 100 meters out and back, and I was like, oh my God, like that was terrifying. Whereas at the end of it, I was swimming like multiple laps out and back and was actually enjoying it.
It's crazy to think that, right? It's crazy to think, like, I can't even remember the first day I showed up here and swam here, and it's probably like one lap or it could have been more than that. But I was just like, and now you look at it and it's like I've swam this like 20 times, this lake, you know, and it's that in itself is mental swimming. I'm thinking about how many times you've swam that. So it's just, I don't know. It's, I find swimming very, very healing too, like to be able to move past those things, because it has helped me in my life to move past a lot of stuff that I've needed to. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's been a big part. Yeah. Yeah.
And so so you're saying, so you actually do enjoy it ultimately? Yeah. I guess
ultimately, yes, with some, you know, wobbles here and there.
Well, I think, I remember hearing this thing where like, you were saying about how there's days where you don't enjoy it, but those are ultimately the days where like that actually adds more value to your training. Yeah. I remember like hearing this thing where like, I think a reporter had asked Muhammad Ali a question, and he said, when do you, like, how many sit-ups do you do? And Muhammad Ali had replied saying, I don't start counting until it hurts. And the whole point was like, he was like, until it starts to hurt or be difficult, that's when you actually that's when it matters, you know. And kind of what you're saying about the days where you come down and it's hard, like those are the days where it actually matters. The days where you and I can come down and swim 10 to however many laps easily, like you're not really, you're physically getting the benefit from it, but I guess like mentally you're not really doing the training. When you come down here and you really don't want to be here, those are the days where you're like, right.
Those are the hard days. I remember swimming here on days when it was like raining. And it's like, nobody's here but my husband. He would walk around and be my lifeguard. And it was like, those are the days that you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. But it's like, well, the weather can be total crap whenever you go for, you know, your event, and you just got to do it. So
you're totally right, but I feel like I've done quite a few events, and maybe I'm just lucky, but like the weather's never really, regardless of whether it's been a run, a triathlon, a swim, the weather's honestly never really been that bad. But I know that you should still prepare for like the worst case. Like Erin was saying that to me. She was like, it'll be way choppier than anything you've done, and I believed her. But I get, you know, when you believe someone, but you're like, I was like, her idea of choppy is probably different than my idea of choppy. And then when I got there, I was like, this is way, even just the little safe harbour bit of Dover Port that I was training in was like choppier than this, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Okanagan, like, they can get choppy, but pretty calm.
Yeah, it's a totally different thing.
Here,
yeah. And then I guess with the coaching, how do you, like, what do you think you get out of helping people? Because I guess there must be an element of that where you, like, enjoy it.
I love seeing people try, and I love seeing people succeed at a goal, whether it's showing up on the pool deck because they've had a hard time getting there, whether it's getting into a swimsuit because they don't have the confidence to be on a pool deck. Because, I mean, you think about that, that's the least amount of clothing in a sport.
Oh, God, yeah.
To seeing people do 1 lap and 2 laps in the pool, you know, with a smile on their face, to like people going and signing up for their first event, like seeing them achieve whatever that goal or dream vision is for them. That I love seeing that.
And you're also part of that as well.
Yeah.
You know, to know that you're kind of helping people, that must be like a very gratifying feeling.
I think another part is like the community, like seeing like the community form, not just in the pool, but outside of the pool, and the friendships. And like a ripple effect from somewhere being taken out to younger women and girls, hopefully, however that is. So. And
is your coaching, I mean, it obviously isn't because you were helping me, but your coaching isn't necessarily specifically just for women and girls, is it? Or
in
is
my swim squad, it's all genders. All genders are welcome. It's mainly women, but all genders are welcome. In my like other coaching, like my they're women's swim clinics, online swim coaching generally is mainly women, but I will take on men. It's not that, but it's generally women. So,
yeah, I think from a guy's perspective, even though I'm a very insecure guy, sometimes
I don't know about that.
Well,
because you've swam a lot, and I've seen you.
yeah, no, I think insecure.
You are a confident person.
More maybe in my internal workings. I'm an insecure person, and but even from a guy's point of view, though, sometimes I think and I do have two sisters, but sometimes I don't think I appreciate like what it could be like for like girls and women and like groups, because like my girlfriend at the gym, I'm like, oh, just like come, and she's like, yeah, but if there's like tons of guys and stuff, and sometimes I kind of don't process why that would be an issue, but then I guess I am a guy, so I don't really have that perspective.
There's a whole different like vibe, and nothing against men.
It's just different.
It's a very different atmosphere. Like the connections are different, that form. I'm actually just about to launch my next women's swim clinic on November 30th, but I've decided to infuse like a sound bath in it afterwards. So it brings in that calmness and that clarity, and like it's going to be beautiful. But yeah, there's just something about, I love doing those. It's a lot of fun.
I guess it's different energy as well. Because I guess if there's guys and girls, I mean, especially if they're young, like, is there that kind of like, I mean, without being too like vulgar, is there like a sexual tension there where like a guy and a girl? But I'm saying if there is, like, if a girl's there and there's a guy there who's the same age, is there going to be that? Is she'd be like, is this guy like, can I actually feel it, relax here, or is this guy going to be like looking me up and down and being like?
I feel like the humans that come to my squad, I don't know if it's just that I track that, are very welcoming. And if they're not, they probably won't return. Yeah. Right. So I feel like it's a very welcoming community, and there's no judgment, and you got to leave that at the door, right? Like, there's no judgment. It doesn't matter. Yeah, okay. Like who you are. And I've never felt that in my squad before. Yeah.
And with the swim bath, unless it's like a secret, how does a swim bath work? Do you...
like a sound bath?
Yeah, sound bath, sorry.
So I went to one the other week. My friend does it in town, and it was beautiful. And so they're bowls, like the crystal bowls, right? So we'll do it in a studio in town here. But we're dreaming up doing one at a pool next spring, because I think it would be really cool to be floating in a pool listening to all of these different sounds. Like, they're really like, if you haven't heard it before, it's like your brain just like goes on a holiday, and like I think it'll be really well connected with swimming and water. So yeah, it's beautiful, I think.
Have you ever done I don't know what they're called, but like a deprivation tank? Like
I don't think I have. I think they have that.
They do have one in Camo, yeah.
Is that at Float?
I think it is at Float,
I haven't done it yet,
where you like float in, and it's like body.
I should try that.
It's really cool, yeah. It's like body temperature water, salt. So you're floating.
Yeah.
And it's big enough that like on the odd occasion you kind of bump into the side, but like not enough that it would like ruin it.
You didn't get claustrophobic?
No, because I did like test the like, because it's like a I guess
you
it's like a
used
pot.
to it. Yeah.
But the lids, I did test the lid like 50 times where I like lifted it, and it doesn't lock or anything. Like, it's just literally like it's just like a lid that just opens.
I should try it.
Like a shell. That's what it looks like. It looks like a shell.
Be a nice thing to do in the winter.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think the one thing I would say is do not do it if you have any small, like I wouldn't go if I had like a small cut in my finger, because it was burning.
Because of the salt.
Because of the salt, yeah. And they did say that to me, and but they give you like stuff if you have a cut. They were like, there's a ton of Vaseline, like, Vaseline it up. But again, me just being me, I was like, yeah, it won't be that bad though. And then
I seem to remember that when I was coaching you, don't you remember that when you had, like, wasn't your skin dry or something?
Oh, I had a total rash.
Because you weren't using any like lotion or anything.
No, I don't know.
That's the one thing about swimming is like, there's a whole process. If you're in the pool like 5-6 times a week, I don't know. For me, there is anyways, of like taking care of your skin and moisturizing, and your hair too. Like, people often ask me like, what do you do to like, to take care of your hair and stuff? Because the chlorine just kills it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's pool in Banff, the Sally B, like I'm positive it's got more chlorine in it than at least the pool in Canmore, if not every pool I've ever swam in my life. Because I've got
somebody else said that to me too.
Yeah, I've got a silver necklace, and I'll clean it, and then I'm not joking, within a couple of weeks of being in the Sally B pool, like it'll be like purple from the dye.
You just got extra in there. Hey?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's because there's. I mean, I guess Canmore would probably be a busier pool. Definitely, because I've swam in Sally B.
Just different stuff they use.
Yeah, there's not been a single person there, but and then I guess with the so obviously with the coaching, like you enjoy that like supportive aspect of it, and I guess like for your like tough hard swims, like you obviously have appreciated the support that people have given to you. You've already said your husband's like a world-class lifeguard, but like messages and stuff like that, like. When I was away and you and Anna and Aaron and other people were messaging me, like it was nice to, they were nice, like definitely offered, like getting that support. And I assume you obviously appreciate that as well when you're doing
yeah, I do. From my family and like friends, people will send like great messages to you, right? So yeah, no, I definitely appreciate that, hands down.
Yeah.
That encouragement.
Has there ever been like specific support that you've got that you're like, if I was to, like that you would give on to someone else? There's someone maybe did something that was like different than just like a text message, and you're like, wow, actually really that made a difference.
Oh, that's such a good question. I don't know, I just think it's my husband, just because he's the one that will paddle next to me, and we have such a connection when it comes to going straight, but like trusting each other, and how much that's like built our relationship, like outside of the water. I feel like it's him, like big time, that will do that, where he's in awe of my swimming, right? Where I'm in awe of his biking, like we're both good at the sports that we do, but humble about it as well. But I feel like it's his support. My mom too, as well. Yeah, definitely my mom. But just friends, just the energy and the little notes that people will give you, right? So, yeah. I know there's something. I swear there's something.
There was a day where you left a little note. I think it was you. Yeah. It was you, Aaron. Anna, it was you. Sorry. I came out of the pool, not the pool, came out of the lake swimming, and I gathered all my stuff up, and there was this little square thing, and it was nice, like in that moment, just to like get this little like note. Like it was like it was a very like cool. It was like an added thing that I wasn't expecting, which was really nice.
I feel like it's really important, like to just in general, like it's like spreading that kindness, right? Like if you got something to say, or you're seeing what that person is doing, like just call it out, like however it is for you, because it's like you don't know how much that person is really needing it in that moment, right? Because sometimes I'm not gonna say much of like what I need. Sometimes I will, but but I think supporting each other is a big thing, but also the kindness behind it as well.
Yeah, I think also having a partner that is very understanding of what you're doing, because
100%.
when I was away,
100%.
Yeah, it was like completely, and I would honestly say that my life is normally not like this, but it was completely self-absorbed with me, because Cass, my girlfriend, had flown with me to Dover to swim the channel, so the whole thing was about me. You know what I mean? It was all about like, will I swim tomorrow? Like, will I do, and her being incredibly understanding of that, and just like going with it.
I think that it's something that seeps in once in a while too, is like when we're going away on vacation or something like that, it's like, should I be doing this? Should I be doing this? And it's like, no, you should be doing this. Like, this is something that lights you up, I don't know, sometimes that will seep in. It's almost like, but it's like, no, just keep doing what you love, right? Just keep doing that. I don't have to do events like 10 times a year, but it's, I guess there's like, part of me, there's like a hope that it will also inspire like my stepdaughters in some capacity. They don't have to be swimmers, but something in their life that they will go after strongly, no matter what that is, and have a voice about it. That's my hope. Yeah. A nugget of it, like I hope they see, I don't do it so they'll see it, but it's like, that's part of my hope, is that they will see something, or other young women or women in general will get after it, because life is so short. Like, go and do the things that make you happy and light you up, right? Yeah,
it's funny you say life is so short, because I'm early 30s now, and a lot of my friends are getting into golf. Now, this is a kind of random tangent.
I just started it too.
Well, the thing I was going to say though is that, like, they're doing it, and I'm just like, but surely you should, now you're full into this bracket as well, but I'm like, surely you should do these bigger, like not even endurance, but you should do something that's harder than golf. Just because you could do like golf, you know, like way later in your life.
Yeah.
And obviously that's a bit of a tangent going on that, but I was like, why don't you do, but I guess they just want to do something they enjoy, and it's golf, but...
Get them outside.
Yeah.
I like it just for fun, and it's just kind of fun hitting the balls, and I laugh about it. I don't keep track of anything, so it's just something else to do.
Yeah.
So.
And do you find that, so am I right in saying you're the director in the Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah.
So do you find that like I would assume that there's like the sport and the endurance that you do with the swimming like kind of complements that, just in the sense of like, I would imagine that's kind of a demanding role, and then to have something that is equally as demanding but probably like is a bit therapeutic.
I find like the swimming and like being an athlete also helps to, like when you go into a role like that, to understand when you need to slow down as well. Like it's like when you're swimming, you know, you have to take a break. You gotta, you know what I mean? There's rest. And so I think that even though I work hard, I feel like that does teach me how to be like, okay, so you need to stop and go and do something. Like that's what I love about my job too, is I do have the flexibility and to do what I need to do whenever, most of the time I can, right? With swimming or getting out for a walk with my dog partway through the day. It's really important to do that.
Yeah.
So like I've gone into burnout before a few times in my life, and it's not fun. So, because you just drive yourself, it's easy to do. So.
And do you find that like your role at like being a director, like I would assume that's helped also with the coaching as well? Because I imagine it's a very leader. I don't want to say the word leadership, but I imagine it's a very responsible role where you have to be a leader in some context. Like.
Yeah, just the building the relationships, the partnerships, the sponsorships, like, you know, there's a lot of different facets, but there's the creative side that I love to be able to, you know, build things that haven't existed that do, right? Like the women in business that now exists within that, right? So we have that freedom to be able to do that within reason. So, yeah.
And you were saying, you kind of just said there, like the creative aspect. I think that's something, I mean, this is the reason for it. Like, I think for a long time I didn't have anything really creative in my life. I don't know, I guess, I just didn't. And I definitely missed that. Even though at the time I didn't know, I wasn't like, I am not being creative, I need to find it. But by doing this, you know, like it's a bit of a creative thing. Like you were saying that you've also got a podcast, or was that your creative outlet? I know you were saying you've kind of paused it a little bit.
I feel like my creative outlets are like, the podcast, I was kind of on a pause right now. It's called Rad Active Water Women. So it was all women that swim or love the water from all over the world that I interviewed. I will bring it back.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
I'm just waiting.
You've got 101 other things going on.
But I feel like with my business too, like I'm able to create different content and stuff. I love doing that.
So that's quite creative.
Like using my imagination.
Right, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I need that outlet in different ways where I never thought, like if you would have asked me that like 15 years ago, I'd be like, what? But now it's like, oh, maybe I'll write a book, but I'm not quite ready for that. Like maybe when I'm in my 50s, I'm not ready for that yet. But there's just different things. Yeah.
What would be, if I can ask, have you got an idea what you'd like to write? Like fiction, non-fiction?
I don't know yet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know. I think it'll be part of my story is what it will be. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think I weirdly actually have we maybe are quite similar. Like I would like to also write a book. And I remember like, and it's not going to be this, by the way, just to clarify, but I remember like a couple of, I think when I'd done like maybe the Ironman and I was like, I'm the coolest guy ever. And I was like, maybe I should write a book and I'm like running an Ironman. I remember like floating the idea past my dad and he was like, what? No. He's like, you're just, and he didn't say it this way, but this is how he meant it. And he didn't mean it in the way that it's going to sound really negative. But he was like, dude, you're just like an average, like you're just some person who's run like one Ironman, done one Ironman. Mm-hmm. And you know, for a while though, I was like, nah, it'd be like a really good story. And then, like within like literally probably like months, if not weeks, I was like, yeah, obviously that's a terrible idea. But I don't know why, like I definitely like
That was awesome.
Have you done like any like writing with your podcast or your website or anything?
Writing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a
I have
blog or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a blog, and once in a while I'll write. It's usually when something bubbles up, right? Like I don't just sit there and like, oh, what am I going to write? It's like something bubbles up and I'm like, I need to talk about this right now. But,
sorry.
no, what were you going to say?
Do you journal?
No.
Oh, do you know? Nah. I would have thought, I do. I would have thought that's something.
I just, so many people have said it to me, oh, you should journal. I just don't enjoy it. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes I like to voice things out, like talk it out. I think that's why I like the podcast too. I like that.
Yeah, I think I actually like writing. So obviously, again, I like to do it. But I think with the journaling as well, because what you were saying about how like with the blogging, it's kind of comes and goes. Like I feel like that with the journaling as well. Like I don't do it every day. Like usually what's happening is you're going through like a stressful time in life or whatever, and that's when I do it. And then when everything's kind of coasting, I'm just like, yeah, I can forget it. But I think it's because for whatever thought patterns I've developed in my mind, like writing it out, I don't know, I feel like it gets it out of my mind. Now, I'll still think about it thereafter, but like, yeah, the process of like writing it down sometimes.
Yeah, and just keep all that stuff. Keep all that goodness.
And you can kind of like clarify some stuff. Like, even though you can think it, sometimes writing it down and then reading it, you're a bit like, I remember like a couple of times, like writing stuff down where like this is random, but my cousin, I was trying to reach out to one of my cousins. So I've got two cousins, something happened to one of them, and I was trying to reach out to his brother to be like, how's Daniel? And anyway, James, his brother, was kind of like ignoring me, and I was like, I actually get kind of pissed off about it. But anyway, what had happened to Daniel was fairly serious. So, but in my mind, I was like, oh, I can't believe James hasn't like messed me back like this. What a bit of an asshole. Anyway, and I remember, this is really silly, but I remember like then writing it down. But then writing down the whole thing, like this happened to Daniel, and I tried to get in touch with James, and like I wrote it, and as I was writing it, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I even had the audacity to be like annoyed at James. Obviously he's not talking to me, like his brother's like going through this thing and he's trying to help him.
Yeah.
But like, and I didn't get that clarity from journaling. I honestly wrote it, and I was like, oh.
Well, it's good to get it out, right, and down on paper. I feel like the story that I may, like part of the story will be, like, so this is something you may not know, but so I have ulcerative colitis, and I've had that probably, I don't know for how many years now, for quite a long time. And so that was like kind of where my journey started of triathlon, running like half marathons. So I remember the day of like being so sick, and I was like, fuck it, like what's going to help me? Like I wanted to live my life, right? And I wanted to start, and then triathlon kind of came by because I'd seen a couple of people do that. And so then that's where it all started, right? And I'm like, oh, well, if I can do that, well, then maybe my body will allow me to do that, right? And so, but I had to take care of my body and understand what it needed. I'm on medication for it, but it's like that journey, because I know there's other people out there that live with it. It's like, don't ever think that you can't do these things in life, Can
I ask what it is? Sorry, I don't actually know.
So ulcerative colitis is like ulcers in your colon, and it's like, it's excruciating pain. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Like in your abdominal. So it's like someone stabbing like a knife in your, yeah, it's really painful. But I've been in remission for quite a while due to medication and a great doctor.
Okay. But
taking care of myself.
Right, okay, cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Like diet?
I honestly think it is stress too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's part of that, and that's where like being active and swimming and all that just kind of helped. And also I wanted to see what I was able to do living with that illness. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with the stress. I remember, so I don't know if you'd even be able to tell, but I've got this like little like white patch like in my hair somewhere in the middle. Yeah. And that I came from like a year or two of like just crippling stress. And it was nothing it was just self-inflicted. I was living a lifestyle at the time, drinking too much, that was, inflicting like this stressful anxiety. And I remember I was a lesson learned on how much your body can completely change. Like I don't have glasses now, but I remember during that period of time went for an eye check because I was like, my eyesight's like not, like it was kind of going, and they didn't connect it to the stress, but they were like, yeah, your eyes, you now need glasses. And then again, super long story short, like ended up coming out of that period of life, and I went back to the Specsavers, the opticians, and they're like, yeah, you don't really need glasses, like don't know why you got them in the first place. But the whole point was because I was so stressed, my body was just like,
I think it's amazing what your body does and what it can work through with stress. But yeah, I just think, I don't know, I feel like there's like a message out there for like women that are navigating like adversity or things in their life. I went through a divorce. I went through like that part in my life, and it was not easy, but I pulled myself like out of it, and I've met an amazing man now. But I just feel like don't ever stop living, you know, like, because there's something better on the other side, you know, like there's a reason, unfortunately, why sometimes those things happen. But yeah, I am grateful for it in some ways, but yeah.
Yeah, you sound like you're obviously quite a resilient person.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you think that's something that like is innate, or do you think that's something that people develop through like the stuff that like
you develop it?
You do, yeah.
I don't know. I think I developed it through going through everything I've gone through, and yeah, even being like a stepmom now, like that builds resilience as well.
Yeah.
Right? The dynamic of that. But yeah, not that I need to keep getting hit with like, oh, you're strong, you can do this.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, like I'm okay now.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm pretty confident in who I am as a woman. It's just, yeah, I guess it's just life, right? You get hit with things and you can go one way or the other, but I don't know.
I think there was a quote from like Mother Teresa who said like, something to do with like God had so much trust in her that he just like kept giving her like all these like problems, and she was like, I wish you didn't have so much faith in me. You know, it was the fact that she was resilient and she could endure all this stuff, and you know, God just therefore kept giving it to her. Obviously, I'm not really religious, but it was kind of like a cool story. But yeah, I think unfortunately the people who have had the hardest hardships in life that I know often are the most resilient. Not unfortunately, but I mean unfortunately that they've had to have these things. Like, you know, I've got a couple of people that I know who have had like not just one thing, but they had like 3 things in their life that to any normal person would be like crippling. And the outlook that they have on life and like the philosophy that they have on life is like amazing. But unfortunately it's amazing because they've gone through like these, you know, people dying, people like, you know, life not working out for them, and they've had to develop that.
Yeah, I would. Something else that I wish sometimes is that people would not be so like, I don't know if afraid's the right word, but to really ask how a person's doing. You know, like sometimes I wish, and I think it's okay to ask me sometimes, like, how are you doing? Like as a stepmom, like how are things going? It's like, and hold that space, because I know that I do that for other people. It's like I can recognize when people are going, like when you're a coach and you're on the pool deck, and there's a lot of emotion that can show up on that pool deck from work, from life, everything. I've seen tears, I've seen everything in that pool, right? And it's like, I think we just need to take that time to be like empathetic towards like humans once in a while, you know, and just be like, hey, are you doing all right? You know, like, and just, but also just like, holding that space. If you're not ready to take that, then don't, right? I don't know. Does it ever drive you nuts? I don't know why I'm going on a tangent about this. But it's like when people ask, well, how are you doing? It's like, it's just a friendly thing, but it's like I really want to hold that space for people sometimes, because I don't think some people are just not doing okay. You know, and you want to give them that, but also give them the space as well. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I think my mum actually asked me when I was back, this a couple of weeks ago, she asked me, it was interesting because she didn't ask me how I was doing. She was like, are you happy? And I was like, not that that's a groundbreaking thing to ask someone, but yeah, someone asks you everyone asks you all the time, how you doing? I talk to multiple people a day. I'm like, oh, hey, how you getting on? But
yeah.
when I was like, when she was like, are you happy? I kind of like, it actually did take me a little bit. And I mean, I didn't really know what to say. Because I was like, I mean, I am.
It's a hard thing to answer too. And some people they're not happy, right? Like, and that's, yeah, it's pretty big to take on. But
and it's such a like, because you can answer the question in the moment. And in the moment I was like, yeah, I'm buzzing. I'm like with my family. I haven't seen you guys for a year. Like, don't get to see you a lot. But yeah, like I was like, yeah, but then like the whole swim's been a disaster. But then before that I got to, you know, it feels like this constantly evolving. I feel like it's constantly evolving. I couldn't give her an answer to be like, I'm happy right now because I'm with you, but yeah, definitely like the way that even just you phrase such a simple question can totally change the way that thinking, I'll be honest, I don't really ask. I can't really think of the last person I asked if they were happy or not, you know? Because I guess you need to understand there's probably going to be a lot that will come with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, are you prepared to take that on in that moment and hold that space? But to make that time.
And do you find, like, with all the stuff that you do, like your work, swimming, coaching, you know, your family, do you find that you take time to, like, sit and, like, reflect on it? Or do you just feel like you're, like, I work and then I swim and then I coach and then I've got my family and I get home and then blah, blah, blah?
I think I worry about that next week, because next week, like, coaching comes back in. Board meetings start, because I'm on the board for the YWCA Banff, and so that all starts to come in, and this is all stuff that I have welcomed into my life, to be clear. But so I think that, like, my slow mornings are really precious to me. They're non-negotiable. And evenings too. Like, I feel like, and Fridays, those are like days, those are pretty sacred to me, where those are times I like to create too. I created a lot today, but it's like, I love doing that. So that partially is rest for me as well, because I'm doing something that fascinates me. If I'm doing something that fascinates me, it's usually restful. So
yeah, you're engaged in it.
But I don't know, I'm enjoying those walks with Chloe too right now, where I leave my phone at home, and it's like, you know, most of the time it's at home, and it's like just getting out and enjoying your backyard. But,
yeah, I want to say, as useful as they are, I absolutely hate my phone.
Yeah.
Because my work can be you saw me before I had like two phones. I got my work phone and then my actual phone.
I have the same thing.
Yeah, you know, I think it can be, and I'm someone who's really conscious, maybe similar to you. Like, I'm really conscious of not being on my phone, and even then, I'm still feel like I'm on it 24/7. And
I think I could cut back off it, but at least I recognize it, and I definitely turn it off and put it away. Especially when going on walks and being outside. When you're swimming, you can't be on your phone. I never bring it, like, to the pool deck. Sometimes it's in my bag, but there was a while there I had it there and I was taking photos and stuff, and I'm like, no, I just don't need to do this anymore. Like, this is my time. Like, not everybody needs to see what I'm doing all the time. So yeah.
I think it's so true in this world that we live in now, where, like, even if it's not, and I know you don't do this, but even if it's not in a showboating way, like, you literally just want to take pictures to send to your friends and your family, like, I think we're so ingrained with just like, I'll show them the whatever I am doing this and that. And I do, my family kind of go on at me for not doing that, because I kind of don't do it. I'm like, if I'm out a hike somewhere, I usually will take like a couple of pictures, and then all the pictures my girlfriends want to take. But with my girlfriend,
they just want to see the memories or
what
you've seen, right?
And it's kind of nice though, because in years gone, like, so to look back, like the last couple of years, I personally don't have a lot of pictures, but my girlfriend does have a ton.
Yeah.
So now that we're looking back, it's actually kind of nice to be like, oh yeah, you know, like, it's to be able to look back in it. Whereas if I was going to my library, it would be nothing really.
I have so many photos. I love taking photos.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I do. I love taking photos of different things, and it changes seasons when I want to take pictures of certain things. It's whatever I see that looks beautiful, probably. Yeah, sometimes not, but yeah.
So with your, like, swimming and your work and your coaching, is there anything that you're like, I hope people think this about me, or I hope people, like, see this that I do? Like photography, no? Or is that just more just like...
I hope people see me as, like, is it more see me or see what I'm doing?
More like, if they, like, were to describe Sarah, like, they'd be like, oh yeah, Sarah's like this, if that makes sense. Like a character, maybe, I guess.
I guess she's kind. She is. And confident, but also confident in a soft way, not in like a, blah. That's not who I am. And someone that they can talk to, right, if they needed to. And someone that makes shit happen. Dreams, visions. Whether I fail at them or not. I just hope that inspires the next generation. And yeah, so I think that's what it is. Yeah,
I think there was a guy that I was working with, and I was telling him how I was going to do the swim. And anyway, he came back and we were chatting about it, and obviously it fell through. And he was like, the fact that you even considered doing it was, like, amazing to him. And that's not to make me sound amazing, but I'd never really thought of that. He was like, the fact that you even contemplated that you could do that. He was like, that's amazing to me. Yeah.
It's kind of nice when people see you for what you're doing. Like they see like how hard that is to actually do and what it takes to dedicate. Like when someone highlights that for you, I don't need that all the time, but it's like, oh yeah, actually that does take a lot of freaking work, and thanks for seeing that. You know, like some people can't comprehend or understand even what that is, right? Like it, you know, to swim 10 kilometers, I'm just not that person that's going to roll off the couch and do that. I'm going to put in the work and I'm going to earn that, right? Like just not earn it in like head down, you know what I mean? But like I'm going to take care of myself along the way and do it right, but because it means a lot. So.
And do you find that you can train without a goal? Because I feel like I can't.
I don't know that I could.
Yeah.
I know, it's funny because I've been curious lately where I still want to have a goal. I'm still lit up about that, but it's like I see some other like people that are similar age or older, and they're completely happy without that. You know, I feel like I will get there at some stage in my life, but I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to not have a goal. I think one day I'll just be like, yeah, I'm good. And I'm just going to keep doing this because I want to. And I do it because I want to. But I love having that carrot or that goal because it's fun.
I think it also keeps me disciplined. Like I find that if I don't have a goal, my training will like right now I've just finished it, so my training, I'm just in that training mode, so I know I'll keep it, but eventually like long enough, and I'm talking like maybe months, even a year, if I don't have a sport specific goal, it kind of slowly just drifts off, and then you know, stop going as much, and then I also feel like that kind of bleeds into my like my path in life. I know that sounds a bit kind of deep there,
so
but
true.
I just I don't really know. I obviously have my job and my relationship and stuff, but I'm like, well, I don't really know what.
That's part of who you are, right? It's part of who I am. A lot of people do know that about me, that I love to have a goal. Like, I think anybody would say that, or a dream to chase, right? Whether it's successful or not, it just depends. I'm willing to fail at things and suck at things, but I also like to be good at things though too.
Do you remember the last thing that you did fail at?
What did I?
Because it feels
golf?
Like, okay, maybe, yeah.
Maybe golf, skateboarding. Yeah, that was. Lots of things. Failing in my business, right? Failing at putting something out there, and it's like, it didn't work out. You know, it's like, well, at least I tried, and move on, right? In swimming, what have I failed at in swimming? That's a tough one.
You just haven't failed, maybe?
I have failed.
I mean, maybe a fail would be like a day where, I had days where I came down here, I was supposed to do 3K, and I did a lap, and I was like, I'm out of here. Yeah,
I think those are the days where you're just like, you just give up, right? And I've had those days where I'm just like, fuck it, I'm not swimming today. Like, but at the same time, it's probably meant to happen that way. But it does not happen that often. So.
Yeah, and I guess it's just trying to see them less. I guess it also is probably a perspective on it. Like, is it a failure or is it a lesson?
Exactly. And you can reframe that, right? It's like, I think I reframe it a lot, whereas like, it's not necessarily failure, it's learning. It's that moment of like, okay, well, maybe this just wasn't meant to happen. Maybe you weren't meant to be doing that, or, Yeah.
Well, look, I really appreciate you sitting down with me and answering all my questions. And I'm not just saying it, like the support you gave me when I was swimming, because I didn't actually realise how much nicer it is to swim with another person. As soon as I was swimming, because I kind of swam on my own, I was like, this kind of sucks, but I didn't realise it. Swam with you, and I was like, this is awesome. And then swam on my own again, I was like, oh, this is back to...
I think one of the most difficult, not one of the most difficult, but a difficult thing for me was this when I was coaching you, and I had to be humble enough to say to you that I can't coach you anymore.
Yeah.
That was a hard decision for me, but I knew it was the right decision. And I think just if other coaches are out there, or you're doing something in your life and you feel like it's not, like, humble yourself. Because I knew that Jordan could do this, and I knew I probably could, but I knew how important this was to you. And I was like, I haven't done this yet. I think if I had been done it and in it, it might have been different for me. And some coaches can do that without being in it, right? But I think it's good to humble yourself if you're feeling that in your gut, right? Yeah.
And from my
I'm
perspective,
glad I made that decision.
yeah.
So.
And from my perspective, like feedback on that, like I really appreciated that, and I didn't think anything. And I'm not just saying this because we're face to face. I didn't think anything less. I wasn't like, oh well, I guess you can. I honestly, I just took it. What you said, I took it at face value. I was like exactly what you just said there, where you're like, I can probably do this, but if you want to like, you might have a different avenue of achieving it with Jordan.
Yeah.
So I didn't think anything other than just like I appreciated you just being honest, and you definitely are like a super honest person. So as soon as you said that, I was like, right, cool, this is just face value.
I feel like that's one of my values in life is like the honesty piece, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like you can't, you know, if you, you definitely are someone who you're just like, I wouldn't necessarily say that you wear your heart on your sleeve, but you feel very authentic as a person, you know? So yeah, I didn't think that you were bullshit, man, anyway.
Good stuff.
Yeah, but look, I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me your time as well today.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Sitting outside here.
Beautiful.